Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Ben, and I'm coming to you today with the Count With Me book tag. Thank you, Josh at Red Fury Books, for tagging me. This tag is a lot of fun. I had fun thinking about it and watching your video, and so here I go. First book in a series. I'm going with one that doesn't get too much hype anymore. That's His Majesty's Dragon, the first book of the Temeraire series by Naomi Novik. It's a lot of fun. It's very heartfelt. It's the start of a breezy, fast-paced 9-book series. All of the books are not too big. And it's like an alternate history where we're in the Napoleonic Wars era of Europe, and there are dragons who are very verbal and intelligent, just all over the world, integrated into human societies in different ways. The friendships at the heart of this whole series are just wonderful, and the action is very suspenseful. I absolutely love this first book, and probably liked the next couple books even more, and a very consistent, fun 9-book series to dig your teeth into if that whole premise sounds nice. 2 or more copies of the same book, and I have for you Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. I first got this US mass market paperback. That's what I read out of, and didn't love the cover. It's a little dopey. So when I found the older original cover, the Michael Whalen cover, in a used bookstore, I jumped on this and really liked that original one. But then I saw that they have these wonderful illustrated editions. I got this one used. I have the second one. I want to complete this set for sure, because when I reread this series, I can't wait to do it with these beautiful hardcovers, which are very reasonably priced, by the way, if you want to even get them new, and just fantastic full-color illustrations throughout. And so really love that I have a few different copies of this book, because that first American newer mass market paperback, not the greatest. And maybe one day I'll even get those British nice trade paperback editions that look so beautiful. So number 3 colors on the cover. I had trouble finding one for this because I don't even know what counts as a color, if it's different shades of the same color. I found a lot of covers that might have had 3 or just 2, but I'm pretty sure that Giles Christian's Camelot fits this prompt. So we have the beautiful kind of metallic copper color, which dominates. Then there's the silver lettering, and then this black shade, which really gives life to the whole composition and the artwork in there, and the wolf shape, the silhouette. So I love this cover. It really pops, and I just got this book, actually, from Book Outlet, and so I need to complete my set with the first book of this series, Lancelot, which is this duology, the Arthurian Tales. Ever since I just finished the Warlord Chronicles by Bernard Cornwell, I've been itching to read more historical fiction with the Arthur setting, and I think this is going to be very different, and gets rave reviews. Love this cover, and I think it is 3 colors, hopefully. All right, for 4, we got 4 or more perspectives. I know this one fits the prompt. That is The Bone Hunters by Steven Erikson, Book 6 of the Malazan Book of the Fallen, one of my favorite fantasy books of all time. There is a absolutely crazy person online who logged every single POV in every Malazan book, and apparently there's close to 70 different POVs in this book alone. And so we definitely hit that 4 or more. But this is the book out of all of the Malazan books where I felt like finally the dance of POVs worked to flawless perfection. I never went into a new POV or away from one and felt sad that I was leaving one or in someone's POV I didn't want to spend time with. And Erikson is a master of delivering unique personality and voice in all of his different POVs. They're so easy to differentiate. There's so many different types of people. You jump around the map, you jump around to different factions and realms and mortals and gods, and the POV variety in here is unmatched, and it came together for one of the longest books I've ever read, but really one of the most engaging and impactful. So just a magnificent book. For 5, we have a 5-star read, and I'm going with my most recent 5-star read, which is Sharp's Company by Bernard Cornwell. This is book 12 of the long-running Sharp series, which is still going, and it is also book 3 by publication order, but I would highly recommend going in chronological order, and this, I think, hits even harder when you have a lot of the previous books and the context and the build-up of the character's journey over time. But honestly, you could jump right in with this book if you're not too into the idea of starting a long 22-book series, and this is right in the middle of that. But if you want to just get a really intense Napoleonic War era story, this is subtitled the Siege of Badajoz, and Alan at the Library of Alexandria got me to read this series, and he kept on extolling how great Cornwell is with sieges, and that is no lie. You have 2 major sieges in this book. It's a very short book, and it has intense character drama as well before and around the battles, and it was just an absolutely electric read. I was just on the tip of my seat the entire way, just almost in awe of how engaged, intense it was for the whole 300 pages or less than 300 pages. So just a magnificent book. This series has been a delight to go through recently. It's incredibly consistent. Bernard Cornwell's Sharp's Company, just an absolutely tremendous book. For 6, we have 6 or more short stories. I'm going to go with Ken Liu's The Paper Menagerie and Other Stories. So I have not finished this yet. I think there's around 12 stories or so in this collection, and I got around halfway through, and I read this years ago, started reading it years ago, but I still vividly remember the regular and the Paper Menagerie stories, and they came back to back in the middle of this book, and they just wrung me out emotionally. I think that's why I paused, just because it was so intense, and so I really need to get back and reread some of these stories and then finish out the rest of the book and maybe explore his more recent short story collection too, because the stories blew me away in here with their ideas, with the emotion, just the drama and the theme work, and just everything about them was intense and impactful. And so the Paper Menagerie story on its own deserves every award it won. Just a magnificent, magnificent story. For 7, we have a 7 on the cover or spine, and it doesn't get any more 7 than Mickey 7. Look at that dominating numeral there on the spine as well. So I read this book. I had seen a review of it, I think on Dominish Books, that was very positive. It's a new sci-fi release from earlier this year, and it's short, and it was just fantastic. It's on the lighter side. If you really enjoy Project Hail Mary or The Martian, that style of hard sci-fi, a little bit of a snarky main character protagonist, then you might really love this. This is a clone story, as you might guess from the title, Mickey 7. I don't really want to give anything else away and let you be surprised by it, but hopefully soon the paperback will be coming out. And so if you're not into getting the hardback, or if you find this on Book Outlet or somewhere used, but an absolutely wonderful little sci-fi romp, and perfect for this prom too. For 8, we need something with 8 letters in the title, and I have for you one of my favorite fantasy books, Turncoat, Book 11 from the Dresden Files by Jim Butcher. So the lettering and the titles actually have significance in the Dresden Files. He follows this titling pattern of usually using 2 words, both of which have the same number of letters. So we have 4 and 4 here, and some of the titles, I guess only the first time that breaks that pattern is with the next book, Changes. And speaking of changes, the first time I read this, I think I kind of overlooked it a little bit because I was really looking forward to Changes, and then Changes was amazing as expected. But I think this book does get overshadowed by coming right before that. And so everyone always talks about, oh, wait till Changes, it gets amazing. Well, first of all, Dresden really got amazing for me, maybe by book 4 with Summer Night, and then Death Mass, and then Deadbeat. So it was already amazing and spectacular, but when I reread the series recently, this book just absolutely stood out to me and shone in a way that I didn't remember it being so great the first time. I just loved absolutely everything about this. There's really impactful character things that go on. There's some fun comedic situations that are also kind of tense. There's really, really compelling action scenes. It's a fun mystery on top of that. So, yeah, this one is one of my favorite Dresden books. Don't let it be overshadowed by the book that follows. Appreciate this one for what it is, and it's a great one. It's a turncoat. For 9, we need a book that ends on a page that ends in 9. And I have one here which ends on 699 for a double 9. So that is Lord of Chaos by Robert Jordan, book 6 of the Wheel of Time. Maybe my favorite Wheel of Time book, and this one is just so electric from start to finish. The opening quote, the epigraph, gets it off on the right note. The lions sing and the hills take flight. The moon by day and the sun by night. Blind woman, deaf man, jackdaw fool, let the Lord of Chaos rule. What a great opening. And yeah, love this book. I was a little worried about how the middle of the series was going to go, but this is the longest one, I believe, and also just engaging from start to finish. And so what a great centerpiece to this series, and just as a bridge from the beginning to the latter half. And just, yeah, love this book and the series. And lastly, for number 10, we need 10 books in a series. I'm going to go with one of my new favorites. That is Shadows of the Apt by Adrian Tchaikovsky. This is book 1, Empire in Black and Gold. These were just released in a flurry of publishing from the mid-aughts and the 2000s, and over the course of just a few years, he released this whole 10-book series that we have over here in the nice matching new covers. And this is also the first hardback edition, I think, that exists from the Broken Binding. So love that. Now this is just a fantastic 10-book, fun, epic fantasy series, which has the kind of fast pacing of John Gwynne series, and the kind of prose style also of Sanderson and Gwynne. It's really fast moving, and has the high stakes action and almost gritty action in Gwynne books, but that creative, fantastic world building of Sanderson as well, and all in this kind of World War I, World War II kind of fantastic version of that geopolitical kind of climate with a rising empire and wars possibly about to break out, and so it was just a delightful read for me. I thought it ended wonderfully. I was very consistent. Also, I gave all 10 books either 4 or 5 stars, and I think the majority got 5 stars from me, so it was just a great ride. And so that got me into Adrian Tchaikovsky, and can't wait to check out his other stuff. But so that is probably my favorite 10-book series. All right, there's my Count With Me book tag. I think I want to try tagging Read by Kyle, and maybe Nico from Nico's Book Reviews, and Andrew's Wizardly Reads. I think all of them would have a fun time with this one. Hope you liked the tag and saw some books or series that you didn't really think about before, and I'll see you later. All right, for 8, we need something with 8 letters in the title.